Welcome back, Global War in 1939. We're moving on to Italy's third turn of the game. So let's take a look at some of our options. For our purchases, we do have 33 to spend. We're going to get a transport, fighter, heavy artillery. And then we're going to get 3 infantry, 1 auxiliary, 1 of regular infantry, and airborne, spending all of our income. So for the Italian turn, now before we do anything, get into movement, attacking, whatever, we're going to be declaring war on 2 separate countries. So we're going to expand the war and get other countries involved. First, we're going to be declaring war against Brazil. This will stand up their 3 infantry army. They do have a small navy of a coastal battleship and a transport. So now Brazil is officially now in the war. We're also going to be declaring war on the United States of America. Kind of scary, I know. But this does 2 things. First, it immediately upgrades all 3 of their minor factories to majors, which I've already gone ahead and done that. And that's at no cost to the Americans, so which is great for them. Normally, to upgrade a minor to a major is like $20. So that's a $60 investment that they don't have to worry about. Now, it also will force the Americans to declare war against the Germans and the Japanese. So anytime the Americans enter the war, in any means, it doesn't matter, by them declaring war themselves, getting attacked, a game event, or simply being declared a war upon. They will immediately declare war on all 3 Axis nations. So now that the Americans officially in war, they're now officially at war with all 3. So for Italy's actual turn, we have about 8 different battles to declare. 4 just walk in. So not really that big a deal, but pretty significant to the Allies. And then 2 small battles and 2 medium size. So over here in the Mediterranean, 2 battles to declare. 1 against this lone transport. So let's bring in our sub from 37. Now, in my opinion, this sub should have already been destroyed. So we're lucky that we have it. So to get rid of that transport for us. In Tunisia, we'll be attacking that. They have an artillery, which essentially is their only offensive weapon in this region outside of, they have a big stack of infantry here, but let's get rid of that artillery while we can. So we're bringing in our 4 units from Tripoli and attacking Tunisia. We're also going to give them a little bit of help with our bomber and bring that down. So that's those 2 battles. In the Atlantic, we have 4 convoy boxes. The British ones are equals 8. The Americans are 5. So for these 2, we're going to bring in our subs. And now that's $6 to remove from the British economy. This one down here, we're going to bring in a destroyer. And the Americans one, we're also going to bring in a destroyer. So this is pretty significant income loss for the Allies. So hopefully we can keep this up now for the rest of the game. For Brazil, now for the rest of the Italian fleets, we do have a battleship and 3 destroyers. So the battleship and the 3 destroyers will engage the Brazilian fleet and hopefully clear that out. And then the rest of our fleet, 3 cruisers, 2 transports, and the transports, of course, will be bringing down the 2 auxiliaries, artillery, light tank, clearing out Gibraltar. But now we go full force into Brazil. Hopefully we can win that. And even if we take a damage on our battleship, doesn't really matter because we have a port. As long as we win this, then our battleship will be repaired. And the Allies don't really have a counterattack to this region. The only thing that can reach there are transports, and they don't have an attack value. All right, so that's pretty much half our battles done. Let's finish off the rest. All right, so let's do the Brazil battles first. First, we got to clear out the sea zone. All right, so our destroyers at 4s. So we got 9, 6, 5, or 2, 6, 5, sorry. So we got 1 hit. And our battleship at 8. Got a 7, excellent. So we managed to get 2 hits. We'd rather 3, but we'll take 2. The return fire, so this will be the transport. At a 2. That was pretty close. And then his coastal battleship. A 7. Perfect. So the battleship will take both damage, sinking that. Round 2 of combat. Destroyers at 4. All missed. 12, 9, 5. That's not good. The battleship at 8. Got a 9. What is going on? Transport. 12. Okay. So, battleship at 8. 12. Excellent. The destroyers at 4s. 3, 3, 12. Fantastic. He returns fire with a 10. Excellent. All right, so the Brazilian Navy is now eliminated with no damage to us. That's fantastic. All right, so now the land invasion occurs. We got a bombardment of 3 cruisers. Now the Besiegleries get a +1, part of their abilities, and then 1 will get a +1 because of the artillery. Okay, so 2 at 3, 12 and 11, not good starts, and then we have 5 at 4. All right, so 3, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9. So we only have 1 hit. Not good. All right, so he returns. 7, 10, 10. Fantastic. All right, round 2. So the Siglary, they lose their +1, and the cruisers go away, as they will only fight in the opening round. All right, so we got 1 at 2, nothing. 2 at 3, 4, 5, and then 1 at 4, 6. This is not good. Return. 7, 9. All right. That was a wash. All right, so 1 at 2. A 3. Not good. 2 at 3. 5, 8. What? 1 at 4. A 4. Fantastic. All right. His return. 12, 8. All right, so he loses 1 more. All right, so 1 at 2. A 10. 2 at 3. 9, 12, and then 1 at 4, a 9. His return, a 2. So we lose 1 guy. 2 at 3. 5, 7. 1 at 4, 10. 3. Man, he's getting a lot of dice. A lot of dice. So 1 at 4, a 1, finally. He returns. An 8. Okay. So we end up losing 2 guys. All right, so that was a pretty longed out battle that perhaps we should have been able to win that easier. But we did win with 2 units. We did lose 2 of our own. But we do have backup coming. So I'm not too concerned. All right, so the sub and transport. So the sub rolls at a 4, got a 6. The transport returns with a 3. Sub, an 8. Transport, a 3. Subs, got a 9. Return with a 7. A 3. Perfect. So because it's a sub, there's no return fire. Fantastic. And then last battle. Hopefully we do better this time. So it is a French Foreign Legion. He does have a better defense than a normal infantry. All right, so we got 2 at 2. Both miss. 2 at 3. 1, 9. Fantastic. And then 2 at 4. 3, 12. Fantastic. We got all of our hits. 1 round of combat. 1 at 4 for defense. Got a 3. And then the French, 7. So we lose 1 guy. Not too bad. Total, we lost 3 units total. Excellent. All right, so that was a pretty productive turn. The biggest assets is that we're now into the South America, and then we do have allies down there that can help us out next turn, and then getting rid of all those convoy boxes. That is a significant reduction in the British income. It almost counteracts their income that they're getting from the transports. So it's pretty decent. We'll see what their response is. Now for our unit placement, there's no other movements. There's no non-combat movements. We're just going to keep everything as is. But for our actual unit placement, oh, sorry, no, this bomber has to move. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to fly back to our capital for 1, 2, 3. Unit placement. So we're going to put our heavy artillery in Tobruk. We're also going to put the Besiglary there as well. Oh, sorry, I lied. One more unit. The air transport's going to go up to Greece. Okay, so heavy artillery into Tobruk, the Besiglary into Tobruk, and then the airborne as well. The fighter will go into Rome. The infantry will also go into Rome. And the transport will go in C-Zone 40. All right, so that is it for Italy. Moving on to the Germans. Well, thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day.